You know, when people say the gear doesn't matter, it's a complete lie. The gear does matter. So I've been making videos for about 4 years on YouTube now, and along the way I've been trying to improve my video quality and the production quality of these videos. So I've learned a few things along the way, tried many different kinds of cameras, and today I wanted to share some of that experience and also share the tools that I use to make these videos. People ask me for recommendations for cameras and things like that. So today is going to be a deep dive into kind of like the gear I use and why I use it. So let's start off with what's always in my pocket, and that is this. This is the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and you know, I use this quite often. There are a couple of reasons why I use this, even though I have bigger, better cameras with me. First of all, portability, it's always with you. Secondly, the video quality coming out of this thing is actually really good. When I first got this phone, I did a little vlog about the video quality, like all shot in 4K 60 frames a second from this phone, and that video looks phenomenal. There are a couple of weaknesses, like the ultra-wide camera is not amazing, especially in low light. Main limitations of this thing are mostly the internal storage capacity. So when you're shooting 4K 60 frames a second, your phone will fill up pretty quick. If you're outside in sunny weather, it's perfect, but once you get into a little bit lower light, it won't perform nearly as well as something like this. Thirdly, you're kind of restricted to the 3 focal lengths, even though it's a really good focal range that you're getting from this phone, from an ultra wide to a decent zoom. And lastly, if you really want to use this for a video production, then you kind of want to have to put a mic on it, as well as some kind of holder and a stand, a tripod, or like some kind of selfie stick on this to really make it useful as a filmmaking tool. A+ on the phone, the camera quality is amazing. And from what I can tell, Mamta has an iPhone 12. It's a slight improvement over this, but not like a day and night difference between this and the iPhone 12. So the next camera I use is the GoPro Hero 5. Now, I bought this about 4 or 5 years ago. That was the latest GoPro at the time. And I use this mostly for when I'm doing car related videos, because you have limited space inside the car. So you can always like mount this somewhere. That's the beauty of a camera of this size. It's just easy to mount in different places. I can put it on my helmet. This is how I do on my moto vlogs, and this is connected to a mic that kind of goes inside the helmet. It's just a really useful little camera to have, action camera. You know, you can take this underwater. The field of view is really wide, so you get that, you know, really cool wide shot. The limitations of this, pretty much unusable in low light. And overall, this would make a really nice vlog camera as well. You do have to get this audio extension to plug in a mic into this. The newer GoPros have like a media mod. I would say it's a good option for video production as well, but you're definitely not gonna get this kind of, you know, image out of it. It's good in a well-lit situation. It's perfect for action sports, and that's what it's designed for. So this over here is the A6400, and this is kitted out with a Rode Video Micro mic. It's got a cage on it as well, so it gives you some options for mounting and things like that. Now, for all my cameras, I always put a Manfrotto plate at the bottom of it. All my different tripods have the same mount on it, so it makes things super easy. Now, this is the camera that I would recommend for most people. It is $850 or so. It's got amazing video quality, APS-C size sensor on it. It does 4K 30 frames a second, does 1080p up to 120 frames a second, so you can get amazing slow motion on it. It's got a mic port, it's got a video output. It's got pretty much everything that you'd need in a camera. It lacks the IBIS. So if you want the IBIS, you have to pay almost double the price for the A6600, which I don't think is really worth going for. So this is kind of like the best, you know, budget-friendly kind of DSLR, I would say, in my opinion. The other option I would look at is the Canon M50, but in my world, I'm kind of like a Sony shooter. I've got a bunch of Sony stuff. So this is like the camera that I was using until like I bought this A7c a couple of weeks ago. This has been my workhorse camera. It's awesome because it's got a flip screen so you can monitor yourself. I use the cage so I can move the mic to the side. So this is like kind of the vlogging setup. As you can see, it's pretty small. Now, why would you want a camera like this? It's mostly for the image quality. The APS-C size sensor definitely gives you a big boost in terms of quality. It's also interchangeable lenses, so you can have different looks. And I'm telling you, the lenses is what makes the biggest difference in a camera like this. If you just buy the camera with a kit lens, you're not gonna be truly satisfied with the quality that can come out of a camera like this. So if you do have an A6400, I would say just blindly go out and buy this lens. This is the Sigma 16mm 1.4 aperture lens. So generally lenses that have a 1.4 aperture are extremely expensive. Sony's 20mm 1.8 aperture lens, which I'm filming on right now, costs about 3,000 dirhams or about $900, and this costs about $400. Very, very good deal. It's a very wide lens, so you can use it in multiple situations. It's got a very low aperture. It looks phenomenal in low light. The color reproduction is amazing. This is a blind purchase. If you have any kind of Sony camera, I would say for the price, you get some amazing image quality out of it. Now, this lens that I have on the camera itself right now is the Sony 10 to 18mm f4 lens, and this is really good for the ultra wide shot. So it's 10mm, super wide. It looks almost as wide as a GoPro, and this lens is not great in low light situations, but if you want to film yourself, you get a lot of the shot in your frame. Casey Neistat, different vloggers, all will use a lens similar to this. The ultra wide gives you like a really cool look, and you get a lot in the frame with you. So when you're holding out the camera and filming yourself, you're gonna be able to see a lot in the background. You can have the camera like right here and be like right in front of it, and you'll be able to see almost as much as you can right now. Kind of like the third lens that I bought for this camera. Now this is kind of like a full frame lens. It's a 50mm 1.8. People call it the Nifty 50. And this is gonna give you some amazing, crazy bokeh in the back of your videos. It's a little bit difficult to use with a camera like this for videography because you need to be pretty far from your subject. So what I use this for is like detail shots, like if I have a lot of space to, like if I'm shooting like a car or something like that and I have plenty of space around and I can go a little bit further with my camera, that's when I use a lens like this. It gives you really beautiful bokeh in the back. The color reproduction is great. If you're into photography, I would highly recommend you pick up a Nifty 50 lens for your system like this one. And this one was pretty cheap as well, like around 800 dirhams, roughly $200. It doesn't get much cheaper than this in the world of lenses, and this is a native Sony lens. So this is kind of my recommendation. If you want to up your video quality production, definitely pick up the Sigma 1.6. This is a maybe if you're thinking about vlogging 10 to 18. It's nice in certain situations, not always, because it doesn't do that well in low light. And this, if you want that beautiful B-roll, this is a really great lens. Now the mic that I'm using, the Rode Video Micro, is actually very good. I've been very happy with it. It's worked really well for a really long time. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to carry around, doesn't require any power. So you can just plug this into any camera or phone. You're going to get really good audio quality, very directional, so it'll pick up the sound just in front of it. It'll cancel everything else out. It works when it's windy because it's got this dead cat on it. So, you know, this is a really good budget mic. It costs about $80 or so, and for that price, the mic actually sounds really, really good. So now what you're seeing me on right now, this is the Sony A7c. I just did a video about it a few days ago, and I'm shooting on a 20mm 1.8 aperture lens. So this is kind of the best of both worlds. It's wider than this, but because it's full frame, the 1.8 aperture gives it almost like a look like this. It's a little bit less wide than this, but it's really like the perfect middle ground, like to shoot yourself. Like there's a great vlogging lens and it does well in low light, so it's kind of like an all-round great vlogging option, the Sony 20mm 1.8 lens. It is expensive, about $900, but compared to other full frame lenses, not so bad, and you're going to get amazing video quality out of this. But don't buy it if you don't have a full frame camera, because this Sigma 16mm 1.4 will give you almost the same quality as this on APS-C size sensors. This is something I just picked up. This is the Tamron 28 to 200 zoom lens. So as you can see, I mostly use primes. This is the only kind of small zoom that I have. But this is a 28mm to a 200mm. So you get like insane magnification with this lens. It's also quite fast at 2.8 aperture. It's going to be a little bit tight, but you can use this for vlogging. Plus, you're going to get amazing reach, and you're going to be able to really blow out that background with the amount of magnification you get. You can shoot things from really far away, get like those amazing sunset shots and you know, maybe if you want to do some time lapses and things like that, this is going to be a super versatile lens. It's a full frame lens again. I bought it from the Sony A7c. Pretty much just got it. I haven't really got a chance to use it, but from what I can tell, the video quality and the photography quality that you can get out of this is really cool. And this lens is about $650, and overall I think for what it is, it's a really good price. Full frame and giving you 28mm at 2.8 all the way up to 200mm at 5.6. If you just had to buy one lens with your full frame Sony camera, this is the one I would recommend. You can do talking head shots like this, as well as ultra zooms, and it'll work in low light, so it's really good all-around lens. It's a little bit big compared to the Sony 20 by 1.8, so it might be difficult to like carry this around. It's not super heavy, but compared to all these other primes, these are like quite light. This is the only drone that I have right now. This is the DJI Spark. And you guys might have seen me doing a lot of drone reviews on this channel. There are some amazing new drones out there like the Mavic Mini 2. Highly recommend that drone. And if I didn't have this guy, I would probably be buying the DJI Mavic Mini today. But because this serves like 90% of my purpose, till very recently I wasn't uploading these videos in 4K. Capable of doing like 2.7K at 30 frames a second. The amount of drone shots that I put in these videos is very limited, I would say. I maybe use it once or twice a month. Tomorrow, if this were to crash or break or something, I would definitely pick up the DJI Mavic Mini 2. I love the size of it. I can always carry it around in my bag. Whenever I need it, I can just pull it out. This is a brilliant like little drone that I keep around with me all the time. Gimbal Tripod. This is like the kind of stuff that I use when I'm outside. And this is the Weebill Lab. This is the Joby Gorilla Pod. Now the Weebill Lab costs about close to $600. Zhiyun sent this to me, so I got it for free. Thank you, Zhiyun. It'll really give your videos a more professional look because like it stabilizes all the footage for you. You can get some cinematic shots. Like when I shot the new Lotus Evija, I shot it with this and it gives it just that dramatic effect. If you want to up your video production quality, I definitely recommend something like this. It works really well. It's smooth, falls down pretty small. I can put this in my bag pretty easily. I love the, you know, two-fold design of it. So you can like fold it like this or like this. You get that vortex effect. Easy to travel with, and that's why I end up taking this out. I had another Zhiyun cream before this, which I wouldn't end up using so much because it's too bulky to carry it around, honestly. So this kind of is much easier to work with. The Joby Gorilla Pod, I have so many mixed feelings about this. I've been using these for years, and I put this Manfrotto plate on top of it, just like all my other tripods. So, you know, I can just plug it in like that, you know, to my cameras. It gives you a decent amount of reach when you're trying to film yourself. You can put down the camera in different places and shoot yourself, especially if you have like a limited amount of space. You can do that. You can wrap it around trees and things like that. But the issue with the tripod is that after a while, these legs start getting loose. Like this one is pretty loose compared to like this one. So you have to be careful, especially if you have like heavy camera gear. You know, this thing is going to start like tipping over after some point, and then you just have to go out and buy a new one. Now, this is like the third Gorillapod that I've got, and they're not cheap. So I've been looking at other options, but you know, for the flexibility and the amount of things that you can do with a Joby Gorillapod, you know, they're built well, but as I said, they have this inherent flaw where like the legs start getting loose after a while. Now another tip I would say is like for my gimbal, like I also have this Manfrotto plate like permanently attached to it. It's already kind of calibrated for this camera and this lens. So you just pop it in and you know, it's going to be balanced and you can just start shooting. You don't have to rebalance it every time. So next up is the Rode Video Go. I always keep this in my bag. It is so freaking convenient. So this is the Rode Go system. It is absolutely amazing. It's a wireless mic transmitter. I've done a comprehensive video about this thing, but these sound super good, and then you can connect like a lav mic to one of them, and that's mostly how I get my sound. Right now I'm recording on the Sony Ecm B1m, which is a mic I just got gifted for my birthday. It's like a really cool noise cancelling mic. I'll show you guys that in a bit. In terms of reliability as well, not once have they failed me. Never has the audio cut out or anything like that. So this is my little new Peak Design travel bag. And when I'm like riding on a motorcycle, or I just want to take the camera and nothing else, this is a really cool little setup because it's got enough space for a camera, for an extra lens. You can put some filters in here, carry some extra batteries. So overall, it's like a really nifty little bag to carry around. I think it looks really cool as well. You can use it as a fanny pack. I usually use it as a shoulder sling. So in this bag, I can fit this camera with the mic and everything like that, along with the Rode Video Go setup and maybe an extra lens. So really nice little bag over here, super compact, and it feels nice and secure to carry your stuff around in this. Next up is my Peak Design backpack. So this backpack is been with me for almost 2.5 years now. It's still in perfect condition. They are a little bit expensive, but I don't mind spending the extra money with the amount of quality that you get. And this is a great overall backpack. You can keep a laptop in here, an iPad. You have plenty of storage to keep different stuff. I did a comprehensive video about this bag actually, and you guys can, I'll link it up over here and you guys can go check that out. But overall, super happy with the Peak Design backpack. This is what I carry around when I need to carry more gear, if I need my tripods and things like that. This works really well. So now what I'm filming on right now, I've got the Ecm B1m mic. Now this is something I recently picked up. This is like my second video I'm shooting with this mic. So let me know what you guys think of the sound quality. I'd generally be using like the Rode Video Micro, but this makes it a little bit more convenient. It's got some other options like noise cancellation and things inside it. And for run and gun shooting, this is definitely going to be better than this. But I'm wondering whether to continue using the Rode Video for the videos that I shoot at home, like this one. Now, apart from this, another few recommendations. So this is like my travel tripod. So this is the Manfrotto B3 Live. It's a super compact tripod. These legs kind of flip around like this and make it even more compact. So this gives you like a super small footprint to travel with. Whenever I'm going out, I'm usually using this tripod. And there are a few advantages to this tripod. First of all, you can have it like completely flat like this and get a super stable kind of setup if you need that, if you have like a heavy camera or something on there. It's quite flexible that way. It's also got a video head on it. In pan and tilt, in smooth motion, you can control how much resistance you want on this side. And considering how small this tripod is, it's pretty nice to have a fluid drag head in here. And it allows you to get some really good results. Honestly, this is the tripod I would recommend. I forgot exactly how much it was. I think it was about $120 or so. But the build quality is solid. The footprint is super small. Another huge important part of my kit, and I think it's one of the most important things actually, this is the Viltrox 200 Lite that I have. It's not a very expensive panel. In fact, I think I spent maybe $80 or so on this thing. And it's got some amazing inbuilt features. First of all, it has a remote so you can control it. You can increase and decrease the brightness of it. And you can also operate it using batteries, Sony V-mount batteries. So this light is completely portable for me, so I can move it anywhere I want, anytime I want. And I also have it on a C-stand, which makes it super convenient. You can get pretty much any lighting position that you want using a stand like this. And it makes it so much easier to position the light exactly how you want it. 50% of your video quality is the lighting. This image would not look like this without this light. This is what it looks like without the light. So you can see how much of a difference it makes. I mean, this camera is really good and I'm at a really good aperture, but it's nowhere close to as nice and pleasing as the light. Also, when it comes to video, it's very important to have soft lighting. The softer your lighting is, the better it'll make you look. So this has a soft box on top of it, which diffuses the light. If you want to make good quality videos outdoors where you can't control the lighting, you need to go out and buy an ND filter. So this one I have from Kodak. It's not the highest quality ND in the world, but the main purpose of an ND filter is like sunglasses for your lens, so you can keep your aperture really high and still have that blown out background, but not let so much light into the lens. So this will kind of like reduce the amount of light coming into your lens, which is desirable to keep your aperture low and keep your settings kind of more in line with what you want for video production. So that's kind of my kit. This is what I use to make the videos that I make on YouTube. You know, when people say the gear doesn't matter, it's a complete lie. The gear does matter. You're not going to be able to get this kind of video out of a camera like your phone. You know, there's no way that you're going to get the same kind of quality. But it's also a very small part of your video, because the quality of the content probably matters a lot more. Your audio quality really matters a lot. Like if your audio quality is bad, it's really annoying for the person to listen to. Even once you do get the gear, really understanding how to use it to its maximum potential takes a little bit of time. So I would not recommend jumping straight to something like the A7c, which is like a $2,000 camera almost. Definitely pick up something like this and practice with it, and once you get good at it and you feel like you're running into the limitations of this, then you can think of upgrading to something like this. And you can always start with your phone and learn to play with lighting to give your videos that unique quality and kind of figure out what you like in terms of look and things like that. The iPhone, as I said, very capable camera. I'm going to create a kit on kit.com with all the stuff that I use in case you guys are interested in buying it. If you like this video, hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to watch more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.